truths about Christ and his kingdom.
This is Romans 6 verses 16 to 18. Do you not know that if you present yourselves to anyone as obedient slaves, you are slaves of the one whom you obey, either of sin, which leads to death, or of obedience, which leads to righteousness? But thanks be to God that you who were once slaves of sin have become obedient from the heart to the standard of teaching to which you were committed, and having been set free from sin, have become slaves of righteousness. A lot of people believe that once we become a Christian, and it's true that nothing we can do can separate us from God, but that doesn't mean strictly that we're outside of sin. This verse clearly says that we shouldn't sin, but we still can, even under God. How are we going to live? That's the real question from this verse. If we are slaves to sin, to to the bad things which are separate from God, which he detests, then we can only do those things. But once we put our trust and faith in Christ, we're no longer slaves to sin, but we're tied now to God and his righteous way. We can resist sin. The Bible tells us, even though we feel like we can't, that we can resist the devil when he comes upon us. The question is, what are we going to do about this? Are we going to feed our sinful desires? Are we going to put ourselves into situations and look at things and do things which make us want to sin? Or are we going to live as slaves to God in obedience to his will? We can do that. We can resist the devil. So this week, remember that. We don't have to be slaves to sin anymore, but we can be tied to God and we can feed the things in our lives which are pleasing to him.
Truths about Christ and his kingdom